An Airbnb listing said 1 bedroom. The guest found a second door anyway. Theo booked the cottage because it looked ordinary. 1 bedroom, a tidy kitchen, a clean couch that was not secretly a futon pretending to be a bed. He was in town to interview for a job, and all he wanted was to memorize answers without hearing his upstairs neighbor's blender at 6 a.m. The host left a code and a cheerful message. Make yourself at home. Please don't open the basement hatch, it sticks, and I don't want you hurting your fingers. Lena. The first night was fine. He made pasta, ironed his shirt, practiced talking about his leadership style to the kettle's reflection. The second night, he noticed a thin line on the hallway wall opposite the bedroom, as precise as a pencil under a coat of paint. At one end, a tarnished brass thumb latch sat flush like someone had installed a handle and then decided there shouldn't be a door there after all. He texted Lena. Hey, there's a latch? She replied instantly. Old houses are weird. Only 1 bedroom, promise. At midnight, his phone vibrated with a calendar alert he didn't set. Guest check-in, 12 a.m. He frowned, dismissed it, and heard the latch click. Theo stood very still and told himself it was the house settling. When he opened the front closet to get a hanger, the coats inside smelled like lavender and oddly chalk dust. At 12:03, the thin line parted. The wall swung inward in silence. The room beyond was not an unfinished crawl space. It was neat, lived in. A small iron bed, a nightstand with a glass of water and a paperback whose spine he had cracked in college, a corkboard with Polaroids pinned by tarnished thumbtacks. The most recent photo was of Theo, shoulder to the hallway, head bent toward his phone, standing where he was standing now. In the image, a dark smudge leaned from the doorway behind him like someone had burned a thumb across the emulsion. Lena, he called, voice bright and brittle. The cottage swallowed his name. He stepped inside because there was a toothbrush on the dresser that matched the brand he bought yesterday on the way into town. Because a sweater folded on the chair was his sweater from senior year, the dumb one with the elbow patches. Because people do not find their lives neatly arranged in rooms that aren't supposed to exist. And walk away. The air in the spare room was cooler, a half-degree off, just enough to lift the hair on his arms. The glass of water had a meniscus. He touched the rim with his knuckle. The surface trembled and stilled. On the cork board in the corner, a yellowing index card read, House Rules. Under it, in slanted print, 1. Don't leave the door open after midnight. 2. If you hear someone breathing, don't breathe with them. 3. Don't forget to lock up. At the bottom, someone had written a 4th rule in a different hand. 4. If you find this room, it has already found you. He backed out slowly, trying not to jostle the air, and pulled the door closed. The latch clicked. His phone chimed again. Guest checkout, 12:15 a.m. He didn't sleep. He sat on the couch and watched the latch until dawn. At 7 a.m., a new message arrived in the Airbnb app from Lena. Hope you love the extra space. 5 stars for you, quiet guest. Would host again. Remember to lock both bedroom doors when you leave. Theo stared at the words until they blurred. There was only 1 bedroom. He left the key on the table. On the porch, he turned the deadbolt and, without meaning to, reached to lock a second door that wasn't there. His fingers found a notch in the paint where a thumb might settle. He pressed. The latch clicked from inside the house. That afternoon, curiosity roasted what fear had left behind. He pulled up the listing. The title had changed. Charming 2 BR Cottage, spare room available. Under house rules was a new line. No additional overnight guests unless invited by prior guest. He messaged Lena. He deleted the message. He told himself he had a job to get. On the hotel nightstand in the city, far from the cottage, his phone vibrated at midnight. Guest check-in, 12 a.m. The notification didn't list an address. It listed his name, and under it, in gray text that looked like a system message but wasn't, 3 words. Please let them in. Like and follow for more files.